electronico.com, and another one, eTravel Services. And I think that at the end of the day, what I can speak to you about is 20 years of challenging and being challenged by certain goals, like, for example, exit my company or get invested, or I don't know, being so cool in the entrepreneurial ecosystem. And I have to say that I had all of them. I will also say that I was not a rock star, but I got a lot of press, like the entrepreneur, and how to sell a business and how to succeed as an entrepreneur, and many others. So, what I eventually learned is that getting to those goals is not what made me happy. What actually made me happy was the process on building teams, building a strong culture, a remote culture, to meet with people from all over the world, to produce something in an area or in a geography or a country where you have great talents and you don't pay for them very much, and then make another team in a country that actually pays a lot more money than in the country that you produce. And I think that it is very challenging, but nowadays it has a lot more, everyone understands what I'm talking about. Now, because of the coronavirus and COVID-19, we are all forced to be at home, to be remote, to start thinking about this culture. And I would love to talk a little bit more on that, but not more than 10 minutes, Kali. So in 10 minutes, you say, hey, we'll stop here. And what I would really love is the interaction with you guys. So get your questions ready. I will try to answer them all. But we also only have 50 minutes. So what really made me happy as an entrepreneur is the process and the leadership. And I think that we are approaching to a new kind of leadership. In Spanish, I put the CEO, the co-leadership in the beginning, because I believe that the companies and the structure of the companies are not verticalized, but more horizontal. And everyone has to have empowerment, has to have a strong willing to get to certain goals, run specific initiatives, be the owner of something. Everyone on the team has to be a leader itself. First of all, leader yourself, and then lead specific projects or initiatives. And also own a specific budget. Of course, this must be, something very common, but it's not. And I think that this coronavirus has a very bad part. There are a lot of disease, a lot of death. But on the other hand, it's making us realize that we can be more effective, more efficient. And most of all, we can have much healthier structures of company and structures of life. A lot more freedom can be combined with, work and family and new projects as well. I also believe that, as millennials and centennials are approaching into the working force, you have to have a very strong purpose at the top of all, and be a leader that has four things. You have to think, you have to believe, you have to say, and you have to act, most of all, in the same direction towards that big purpose. And also another core is connected with the rest of the team. We can say that, being remote, it's an obstacle in terms of personal relationships. Well, I believe it's the opposite. I had Calixto 10 blocks away for years, and it's lovely to have a beer with Calixto. He's a lot of fun, but we never did. And now that he's 10,000 kilometers away, we approach and say, hey, I'm doing this. It will be very important that we connect again. And so I believe that remote is an opportunity to be into the most, the inside, the most important value of the content of ourselves. It's really what the conversations have to be about. In Argentina, I make a joke and tell to my friends, we have to talk a lot less about rugby, about football, about ladies, and about some experiences that happened 20, 30 years ago. And we have to talk a lot more about how can we be part of this change? How can we lead specific goals? And talk also about the mark that I want to make when I'm not here. Because that is actually how we are leading our teams and also our families. I have a daughter and a son, and I can say a lot of things to them. But the most important thing is that they see me acting the same way that I believe that is the way that I should conduct my life, and with a very specific type of leadership, as we mentioned before. So, I'm very proud of how my kids are starting to develop themselves into life, that actually they're taking these lessons. As a very small example, my daughter has 19 years. She's 19 years old. She has started university 2 years ago. And she is known in the whole university as the most organized person. She has a calendar, and she has invited all her students and friends to join a Google Calendar, Google Docs, and to be collaborative in terms of how they can get together in teams. Now, a month ago, coronavirus made us be on quarantine, and we cannot go out in Buenos Aires. And she is the most organized person, not only back last year, but this year again. She's the leader and the top student in terms of this remote culture. And everyone asked her, how do you do it? When do you start thinking about this? And the answer was, I just saw my dad doing this. So for me, it's natural. So again, I think that is a very important, I talk about a very short example of my daughter. I see my 9 years old boy doing the same thing, making the same reactions. He's now start developing games in the computer. And yeah, I believe it's the same thing with teams. So I can challenge you and say, do you believe that there is a bigger opportunity or a slower opportunities than before COVID-19? When I ask, I don't know, what do you think? I can see some faces. It would be great if we have some interaction through the chat, I believe. But as you are answering, Calixto said you have an agile daughter. Yes. And she will have more opportunities, not only to be part of a great company, but also to run her own company. Cheryl said, depends on demand and supply. Yeah, I agree. Well, I made last week a webinar with 350 people, and I asked them, and they said 85% of the people are thinking that we have more opportunities than before. And I think that it has to do with the entrepreneurial mindset on challenging yourself. You know, you have a bad side and a good side in every decision. You know, it's a two-way road, and you have to pick one. The
For
opportunities are there,
me,
of course.
Diego, for me, it's very important to say, if there's people who came later to the meeting, that Diego started a startup accelerator based on remote work, but he did like an year and a half before the crisis. So for me, I mean, when something big happens around the world and suddenly there's a lot of experts talking about this thing new, and you said where all those experts were before. Well, actually, the thing is, he was saying all this before the crisis, when people actually was thinking that remote was an excuse to stay at home and do nothing, or remote was an excuse for an enterprise to stay cheap. He was actually believing on remote as a way of working and living. So for the ones who are not at the beginning, I think it's important to re-say that this is something he's been saying for a year and a half before the crisis. I mean, all
Yeah, and
remote people.
actually, Kali, remote mentoring is one of our hashtags and our keywords, right? The same thing as co-accelerate. Instead of saying, "Oh, now we have the best accelerator because we are remote," we say, "No, no, let's work together because we need from each other." And at the end of the day, we have the same client. So if we synergize, we'll have more value to our and a bigger value proposition to our clients. And remote mentoring, the reason why we approach this concept is because in general you have mentors which are 10 blocks or 10 kilometers away from you, but is that the person that actually can solve or help you solve the problem? Is that the best person, or is that the closest person? And the response is the closest, but not the best. The best probably is in the other part of the world. Let's say you have a challenge. You want to start your business in Latin America, in Argentina, let's say, which is something that I don't suggest at all. But anyways, it would be much better. It would make so much sense to talk to a mentor like me, that I have a lot of experience, 20 something years of experience here based in Argentina. Now you can talk to a person who is 10 blocks away from you and actually met someone that has a business in Argentina, and from those talks, he can tell you something, okay? So it's very different. Remote can also be a lot more efficient, because in 30 minutes, you can actually go straight to the point. In 5 minutes, you can tell the 3 questions that you have for the mentor. And in 25 minutes, discuss the thing and approach to a possible solution and tasks. And all of them are not just a coffee session, okay, or a coffee meeting. They're all based on a system, on a platform. And everything is written, which is very important, okay? And at the end of the day, you have a remote leadership. If you want to be, or if you want to make a remote culture, you have to have a great remote leadership, okay? Everything is written, so everyone understands where you're approaching. Of course, you can do talks, and it's very important to have cameras on when you're making these videos and video conferencing, but it's even more important to download all that information into a platform. And you say in bullet points, the main topics about those discussions. And everyone agrees on where we're approaching. And, it's out of, no, when we talk and when we discuss over that coffee, I believe that you meant to say something that is completely the opposite of what you're saying right now. So putting black into white, we say here. So the written things are objectives. And also the written goals. Okay, once that we say, we can connect, and I can mentor you for 6 sessions. Which is the goal? What is your expectation at the end of the 6th session? And so my goal is clear. The expectations of both sides are clear. I made it clear to the entrepreneur that I also want to learn, that I want from him or her to work very hard on the topics and the tasks that we agreed on, and basically to have more engagement. Those things are more possible if we go through video conferencing than if we do it in presence. I have a day like 20 meetings a day. Okay, I have meetings of 10 minutes. I have meetings of 25 minutes, and I usually don't have meetings of 1 hour. Calixto made me jump into that because of this session today. But yeah, most of all, the 25-minute sessions is because we have something to discuss and solve. If we're just complaining about the diagnosis, we are not approaching to the solution. So very fast, you have to, okay, let me think of what are the alternatives towards this solution. You know, ask questions and try to approach to the entrepreneur, or help the entrepreneur to approach to the solution. Another thing is I have weekly meetings. My weekly meetings are 1 hour and a half. They start on the same date, on the same day, on the same time, and they stop at the same time. Are you familiar with the level 10 meeting framework? I suggest that you take a look and deep dive into YouTube. This is all called entrepreneurial operating system, and one of the topics is to have very productive meetings, because it's about people, it's about communication, it's about everyone aligning toward the goals. Okay, so once a week we have this 1 hour and a half meeting, and I don't know if I can share my screen, but I can go really fast and show you actually how these meetings are down. Pantalla completa. 1 minute. I want to show you 3 or 4 things. Okay, how to work remote, and of course it's all about most of it in Spanish. Can you see my screen? Okay, good.
Yes.
We have an operating system. It's a project management tool called Basecamp. You're probably familiar with them, but you can pick another program. Asana is great as an example. And so we have the dailies and weeklies. On the dailies, we meet 15 minutes a day, 9 people. And we say the good news, the bad news, or the warnings or challenges, what I did yesterday and what I'm going to do today. Okay, so as an example, here you are. Today I'm going to do a wild talk, 3 events. And I have one-on-ones with all these people, and I have mentoring these 2 companies. So this is an align. And if we have a question at the end of the day, they will ask me, the CEO, about the specific challenge that they have. The same thing we have with weeklies, and everything is downloaded as we are discussing. So the first 5 minutes of the 1.5 hour meeting is about good news. Here they are. Then we have a scorecard, and of course we have metrics, because this is another thing on remote, right? If you don't have metrics, you don't know how to track the evolution of your people, of your team. You don't see the people working 3 or 4 meters away from you, but it's more important to control not the time that they are there, sitting there, but control and help them get the goals. That is why it's so important to work with OKRs. I believe that you're familiar with them, objectives and key results and KPIs. So there they are. And then we say, okay, our main objectives for the quarter are all this. It's based on our personal goals and personal rocks, and we make a review of that, and then a customer and employee headline. So in 30 minutes, basically, we review the whole week. Now, we put a list after that of 3 topics that we need to discuss deeper. It's not just about discussing, it's about identifying, discussing, and solve. All of them condensed in 50 minutes. And the number 1 topic that you will discuss is not what the CEO proposed, or is not something that it was proposed first of all. Actually, is the prioritization of this list, okay? And then we arrive to the conclusion and to-dos. And then the to-dos are in our to-do list, and it's basically separated by weeks. So we're going through week 17, and we have all these topics pending, okay? I made the negotiation with Vossi, so this is done, but then I have a lot more reviews to do. So this is very important, and once that we get to the next week, 80% of our goals for the week should be set. Otherwise, we can move it forward very easily to the next week. This is another way of seeing the productivity of your co-workers. As a complementation of the execution part, I think that it's very important nowadays to work a lot on the brand positioning, your personal brand positioning, and of course the company's brand positioning. It's not a great time for selling, right? But it's the best time for telling the people who you are, what do you stand for, what is your purpose, which is your cause, why you're working so many hours. And I'm going to show you very fast my LinkedIn. And this is my main social media, because most of, as you know, the people that work and the businesses are here. So every day I have an opportunity to talk to about 20 people. And the ones that I think that are very interesting, I can have a 10 minutes call. The way that I can do a faster thing is just by telling them, okay, interesting, this is my calendar, okay? And we can talk 10 minutes. And all the answers are actually, they have a format that I can show you here. And I'm not going to bore you a lot more, but this is talking to press contacts, to partners, to LinkedIn. What else? To investors, to if they ask me some kind of information. Okay, so here you have a list of all the type of content that I can copy and paste very easily and very fast to improve the amount of people that I talk to. Okay, just to make an example, yesterday, you see here are all 22nd of April. I've contacted with all of them. Okay, and I don't have a social media person. This is all my work. Okay, but I can be very productive and very efficient with the content that I previously have. It's very important to produce content and to show it every day. So in my case, I will do 5 posts a week, and write about 1 or 2 articles in LinkedIn. That way, your reputation will go up, not only in terms of business, but in terms of LinkedIn. Are you familiar with social media index? Social selling index, sorry. I can show you in a very short time. But going very fast, this is a great track of people that are searching on how many people are seeing my publications, okay? And all the contacts that I have, I will try to make the content be useful for them, okay? It's not about me, right? It's about them. This is an article that I wrote, for example, and all these publications are to publish what we did yesterday. We talked about emotions and the entrepreneurs, and you can see here 6,000 visualizations. Now, to get more visualizations on your content, it's very important to go through a social media index in LinkedIn. Everyone has one. So if you search that on that box, you will have an idea, and you can track every day on your score and how you can improve it. Okay, my score when I start tracking this, it was 30. Okay, and now it's 85.05. So take a look at this, all these 4 topics. Your personal brand. If you're approaching to the right people, you don't have to have contacts just for the hell of it, but because you are very focused on making content and relationships that make sense for both sides. And you can interact, offering information, and you create relationships. Okay, so I ran very fast, but and I could talk. I don't know, Kali, what do you prefer? If I continue 5 more minutes, or if we start with the questions?
There's 2 people who wrote something. If you wanna, at least we don't lose the line on the questions.
Yeah. Okay. But then you can ask me questions directly on LinkedIn about how to be more productive and how to make relationships through that social media.
He won't accept you because he only takes people from the best, because he has 85% now. He won't accept you, but you can send him a message, of course.
Yes, if remote works gets more accepted by the companies, it means more opportunities to find an interesting job, more people that have the choice to live where they really want, and not where the jobs are. 100% correct, Esther. And I will give again my example. I'm not a professor, so I like to talk about personal topics, okay? I own a house in Purmamarca, which is in the northwest side of Argentina. It's where it has a very beautiful mountain with 7 different colors. That mountain is 2 blocks away from my house. And my wife and I would love to retire there, to live there, not to retire, to live. And we have a great internet access. Okay, so we have the opportunity to, do some classes online, remote mentoring, at the same time that we are meeting with friends, or that we are inviting people to have a personal relationship. I mean, people that are coming down to the city, to the town, and to live all that culture. So you have the mix of both worlds. You live where you want, and with the people that you love, and you do the work that you love. Now it can happen. And actually, I think that also very important to say that jobs have been flexibilized, and it will be more flexible moving forward. So if you are looking for some jobs, you have to learn how to be a freelance, how to post jobs, get the idea behind it, because once that you work for a company or you have your own company, you will need a lot of freelance. And that is half, I would say, conceptual, and then 0.5% of practicing. Okay, it's an art. Actually, I don't have people. I have very few people that I pay salaries. Most of them, the people that I interact are co-founders and partners and freelance. It's a healthier relationship. I'm not willing to pay anyone else to stay sitting there from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. It doesn't make sense. It's 2020, okay? And we have to be very efficient. Lena asks, it's also interesting to see how quickly things can get done, realized if urgent enough. Suddenly, digital classroom spreading everywhere. Yes, and webinars. And people talking, and as Calixto said, everyone is remote expert today. Yeah, but I mean, again, we have the tools and we have the technology in front of us. We didn't use it. Now is the opportunity. And I believe that people that can adapt and be flexible in mindset and are more proactive towards this, okay, they have more actionable topics regarding the technologies and the opportunity to connect with clients, partners, potential alliance, etc., have bigger opportunities in moving forward, because every industry is going to be transformed again. Okay, we are talking about Airbnb and how they transform the hotel industry without one single bed, right? But that industry is going to be transformed again. Okay, and that depends probably from a couple of people sitting in India to transform the Latin American automobile marketing market or industry. Okay, it depends a lot more on the mindset than the experience. Yeah, it used to be like you find a job description and say, or a job, how do you say, a CV, sorry, and you say, I have 20 years of experience in that industry. Well, probably I won't get you, because your mindset is close, and I would prefer some people that have experience in trying a lot of topics at the same time and failing and being flexible and adaptable, okay, and to accept a lot of things that they cannot control anymore, which is something that is being changed in the last 2 months very rapidly. Esther said, if you pin the talk, sorry. Calixto, from 1 to 10, how important would you say sound and video quality are? 10. That's why I have a Plantronic, $60. And I have a video camera. Today I didn't put it, but I can show you very fast. And you will see, you will notice, hopefully you will notice the difference. So, but you have to be ready. And also great light, okay? Which is something that I have to admit, it's not, no, sorry, I don't know if, did it change? The camera? Yes?
No lo vi porque estaba corriendo mi gato, no te voy a mentir, bajé la cabeza para cambiarlo.
Okay, so this is the camera with Logi.
Okay. Camera without Logi. And now I don't see you, so I can't compare.
So yeah, those things are very important, not only for you but for the rest of the team. Okay, and while you are talking, you have to have the computer with yourself, so you make notes and directly into the platform that you're using to post all the conversation.
I don't see you anymore. I don't think if it's just me or everybody. Can anybody else say? I just see your picture.
Let me check. Okay.
We all just see your picture.
I'm trying to solve this. Sorry, guys.
Don't worry, because now we're learning.
Maybe it was not a good experiment. We failed on the experiment of showing how important it is to have a good video camera.
Video problems live.
So probably what there, I'm back. Okay. So I'm not just a fan of remote culture because of the hell of it. It's because I've been using it for 20 years and it works. It makes me happier, not only myself but my team, and that is very important. I think that is the most important thing nowadays. It's not how much you get paid, how many hours you work, it's how much this work actually fulfill you, how much happier you are working with this company or moving into another one. That is how you can get people working for you or working with you. Sorry, I think that we need to change that word, working with you, because we are companions or co-workers for 20 years. And so you don't have a learning curve in every person that you have to teach about the system, the processes, the culture, etc., etc. No? The idea is to play like Messi plays for Barcelona, not like Messi plays for Argentina. Okay? They have more practice and they can be blind and see exactly where the people are moving and how to make it pass to them. Okay? So it's the same thing. Remote is something that the more you practice, the more you engage with it, the more you get out of it. Okay, does it make sense? Your broadband locally through bots. I didn't got you, Julie.
No, just when you started to talk you about the camera and the sound, everything broke.
Okay. I don't know. Do you have any more questions regarding remote? Would you like to see something else about how to use LinkedIn and make great connections and relationships? It's not just about having contacts. It's about making relationships. What would you like to do, Kali and the rest of the crowd? Eileen wants to talk about LinkedIn. Can we go there? Okay, let me share my screen again then, and I can tell you about some other tricks. Yeah, actually, I made a presentation the other day for entrepreneurs organization, and it's all in Spanish, but probably I can show you very fast. There. So I can tell you very fast about how to make content that LinkedIn likes. Yeah. Ali?
It's all in Spanish, but you're gonna translate the charts while you're talking.
Yeah. It's about some ideas, and I will go very, very fast. And first of all, I love to talk about objectives and key results. In my company, we got all the goals for the rest of the year for Q4, just in Q1. All the goals in terms of awareness, in terms of LinkedIn followers, in terms of website visitors, in terms of media press, in terms of Instagram followers. We just approached to 20,000 Instagram followers. And just to tell you the truth, we started our LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram pages this year, January 20 something. Okay, and the content is the key. So we got all the goals. Making, I would say, a lot of content that starts in YouTube because it's talking to the camera, and you can actually record yourself talking about the topics that you love, talking about the things that you learned and experienced, that you failed, and that you like to know from other people as well. So some metrics, which is important to follow every day. And this is cool. What I noticed is that the first 3 months of the year, I posted 500% more content than last year. And I got 500% more views, but 1,000% more comments. So it actually didn't went down, it went up. It's very important to give a lot of information into LinkedIn. So because people want to know about who are the people that are running the teams, about the companies, that are approaching to us to sell something, or to build a partnership, or even to the other way around, to get the best suppliers. Okay, so people have to be very enthusiastic after they read your description. They see how how much content you generate, that you are interacting with the people that connects with you. And all this video is important to have in your description as well, telling about the experience that you had. Search for recommendations, and be nice, and the same thing that you ask for recommendations, you also can recommend other people. You can start by doing all this among you guys in the class, okay? And talking about the good things on the profile of each other, and especially commenting all the posts and articles that you do. Okay, commenting is something. Comments are very important, because actually people can learn from you, not only about the topic that is discussed on the article that you comment. Okay, so articles are great for SEO, search engine optimization, but also it's great for the social media index, the social selling index. In other words, LinkedIn doesn't get a lot of views on these articles, but it's very important for the index. I can see that every time that I post an article, my index will go at least 0.1% up. Okay, and you can post a lot of content. It's not the same the article than the post. The post has a limit. I think that 1,000 words or something, and in the article you can do a lot more. Sorry, not words, letters. Okay, it's important to comment and to share third-party content that are totally aligned with you. This is another thing. I make 10 publications per week, and I posted old content. For example, the interview that I had with the founder of Mercado Libre, that is the richest person in Argentina and the most important entrepreneur in Latin America. Okay, and I posted another thing here in the second one about how this pandemic can actually can be actually a great thing for societies, because they can work together a lot more than we used to. Okay, and share other type of content that I previously did. Another thing is making interviews and making discussions with other people that can be good in some industry, or can have some background that can complement your ideas. Okay, make content and post it in YouTube. Do lives. People love to see lives. At the beginning, of course, you will have very few, but then they will grow up when they see that you can be confident. Okay, and if it's posted not only in YouTube but in your social media, they're going to start saying, this guy or this girl really understands of what he or she is talking about. Be more human. This is an example about my birthday that happened 20 days ago. And so I did a 5-minute post on what I learned in my previous 45 years. And this way also to appreciate my mentors, my friends, my families. I mean, 2 families. One is mine. The other one is my big family. Okay, my brothers and sister. Also to promote organizations and to tell that I'm working with all these organizations to visualize the activities that we run, and this generosity, it actually pays off. Okay, so there are many ways of posting content, and this is a great content. Actually, it takes 5 minutes to make a text content. For other other platforms like YouTube, it's video 100%, but then Instagram and Facebook, they like video rather than text. Well, LinkedIn is the opposite. And you can have a lot of views, as you see here, just with a text that you can write in 5 minutes. Now you can share presentations as well, and this is the type of content that gets the most visualizations of views. Okay, so all of these are presentations of about 10 to 15 pages. And also, this is great for making some funny things with your teams. And if you tag them, your clients as well, or alliances, it's, you are telling that they are good. You are making them be someone. Okay, and if you have a good reputation, they will like it even more. Going to events, as Kali said, I have like 2 or 3 events per week. Now I have 2 or 3 events per day. And this is my second in today, and I will have 2 more today. And of course, I will not talk about each one of them, but it's an opportunity not only to share what you just did, but also share what the previous part and the post part. A lot of you will approach to me and connect with me through LinkedIn, and I will make a post. At the end of the day, we can take a selfie, and I will make a short post as this one, and we can connect and we can interact. And most of you are gonna say, "Hey, I can, this was a nice guy. I can give 2 or 3 lines comment in his posts and chats." And approach and tag your clients. This is my most important client. It's the president of Impulsa, which is the organization, the public organization for entrepreneurs and innovation. Okay, so I will tag him into a content that he was on the press, and not only I will tell about this, but also tell on why do I connect with that content. So that will speak for me. Okay. And this is the same person in the middle in the other picture, and I will tell about the things that we're running, the programs that we're doing, etc., etc. And as we are ending up, also it's, I think, great to have the content to interact through the chat. It's very important, and you have to be proactive. You have to be asking the questions or giving information. Giving a 1-pager about the activity that you're running or the thing that you're studying, okay? And I have a hack, actually. And Kali, probably I can share, and then you can do. I can make a group out of these people and share this hack that is called Alcapod, so that everyone in this group, everyone that posts something, it will be automatically liked or recommended by all the group, and it will have more visibility. So it's hacking the algorithm in one way. Okay, if you like it, I can talk about this, but I think that we are running out of time. So this is pretty much what I wanted to share very fast. I condensed 2 talks in one. 2 talks of 1.5 hours in 1 talk of 1 hour. What do you think, Calixto?
I think it was nice. I was not expecting LinkedIn coming either, but I think it was fair. We have at least the people from Madrid, Bucharest, Berlin, Barcelona, and several other cities they will start looking their first job as a developer in a couple of weeks. So we were starting with LinkedIn coaching. So I think it was the right timing, at least for a bunch of us. I think also we're still having 5 minutes. If anyone wants to ask something about LinkedIn, I think it can be a nice timing. And Diego, I think you should share your LinkedIn link here so they can just copy it or save you or like in the chat. So if anyone wants to, I really recommend you to talk to Diego, write to him, share a post, get more engagement and help to build
that is something that I would also recommend, to talk about not only about this conversation, but about all the conversations that you are having that are interesting. People are willing to read decent content that actually can connect with you. All right. So once that you know who your audience is, let's say it's I don't know, tech companies, and who in the tech company, I don't know, product companies. So share content about that, and see, and you have an opportunity to mention all the things that you know, that you learned, and the things that you would like to learn. Probably you will get someone to say, hey, would you like to work for me? Would you like to do this as a freelance job? Would you like to have a meeting? I mean, the first action is to be public, all right? And every day you have an opportunity. I wouldn't say that you should post more than once a day, because actually it will give less visibility to the previous post. So if it's working, once a day is good enough. And it depends, of course, on how hot is your account. LinkedIn is used to that I post every day, but it's not. If you never posted before, don't start from once a day. Start, once a week, then twice a week, 3 times a week, and etc. But it's very important to be consistent in time. To give. This is not about to get. This is about to give information, right? And to give value to your audience.
Yeah,
that is very important to have. Yeah, no, Gali, go.
No, I was affirming adding value. It's crucial. It's very important. Yeah.
There is a lot of there is a lot of information, but I believe that most of information is not worth it, even on TV. So that's why we are considering making a show for entrepreneurs, half-hour a day, the same time every day, in English, right? Instead of the news, instead of soccer 4 hours a day, or watching the Barcelona 24 hours a day about a match that happened 50 years ago. I think that is a great way of wasting time. Instead of proposing actionable topics and ideas and projects for the future. Have you one last thing, talking about different, this is my company, and this is a sister company called Torre.co, that it's willing to be the #1 platform of remote workers, not only freelance but remote workers. You can be freelance or you can be full-time, but remote. If you don't have a profile, I would strongly recommend to do it right now, because you have companies of all over the world, and you have a reputation to build in that platform as well.
Good. It's good timing to work remote. Okay, Diego, really, let me thank you, and thank you for all who joined, all who stayed. I will talk to you private later in a few weeks, not a lot, to ask you for more LinkedIn recommendations for the students. But really, thank you for your time and for sharing. I know that when the pandemic started, everybody went to you like, hey, do you have time now? Yeah, now you ask me for time, but you made some time anyway for us, and really, thank you for that.
No, it's been a pleasure being with you guys. Thank you very much, and I wish you the best, but it's not my wish. It's about you guys doing what you have to do, and it starts today. You can be great programmers, you can be great technology people, but if you don't match it with the visualization of who you are, why you're doing this, what you stand for, which is the type of company that you would like to build, and how you can add value into that, this end is 20% of what you can actually give if you have both sides. All right. So the best to you guys. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Diego. Really. Bye bye.